We're going to be reviewing the Territory series, and this is going to be Territory issue number 1. This is by Blake McCarthy and art by Chris Sassman.
Yes. Excellent art.
Amazing
it's
art.
such a gritty looking. It reminds me of the Walking Dead comics a little. I've said before, it's post-apocalyptic kaiju. It's kind of like if they did Walking Dead with kaiju instead of zombies in a way, but it's a little different though. It's more Horizon Zero Dawn jammed in there too, because everyone's kind of reverted to like a tribal state now, as you can see above us. And the story opens up with our main character Alkia. She's got a deer in her sights. She's about to shoot it, and then her buddy Nebo. Oh yeah.
No, I'm just showing off the covers. You can continue
Look
talking.
at those awesome covers. Her buddy Nebo jumps in and he's like, "Yo, we got to get out of the way here. He's coming." And she's like, "What?" So they take coverage, and then the Great Horn, which is this big guy over here, the bear with the horns, shows up and absolutely just annihilates the deer, lets out a roar. The two of them just kind of like watch in fear.
Yeah.
And Alkia's first thought was, the Great One is a gift. We got to witness the Great One make a kill. And Nebo's like looking at her like, all right, yeah,
he
sure.
was like, you were almost the kill.
Yeah. He's like, I just saved you. But they keep walking. They're like, oh, what a blessed day this is. It's a great sign. Aki's going on and on about this blessing. And she's a young hunter, so not many hunters have seen the Great One, which their tribe worships.
I think they were saying it had been like a generation.
Yes. And you can see she wears the necklace around her neck over there. But they're walking, they come across a church, and she's like, oh, they say this used to be a place of worship. Like, this is like way in the future. Like, it's to the point where people don't remember what churches are. They think airplanes are almost things of myth, legend. They're like, oh, people used to fly in the sky. So
I'm taking it as like maybe like 150 to 200 years.
Yeah. And she stops to pray at the church, and like once again, Nebo's kind of like, all right, yeah. And then they come across a big crater. And I didn't understand this time around reading what the goo was. There was like goo in the crater that they like pick up.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
Like, and they were like, oh, this like they pick it up. They're saying this slime. It's like this slime, and they say it's going to cure the cursed and the sickness. We didn't quite get to that in this issue with the curse and the sickness. So I'm curious, like, if it's like some like kaiju blood or something that they use medicinally to heal their sick.
But it was like coming out of pipes.
Yeah, it looked like it was coming out of a pipe too, which is like
very strange.
It looked like it was like sewage runoff, honestly, to me. But they collect this stuff. They see a deer, and Nebo and Alki are like, oh, the first one to kill it has to gut it when we get back to camp. And of course, the first one to kill doesn't have to get it. Of course, Alkia gets the kill. And they get back to camp. They're all greeted. And they're like, oh, did you hear it? And they're like, yeah, we saw it. We saw the Great One. And Alkia's parents are like, we're so proud of you. You're the youngest hunter to witness the Great One and get a kill before it. And everyone's really excited that the Great One's appeared. They're all celebrating. They got deer meat because they brought back a successful kill. And Alki is dancing around. And but prior to this, Alkia's dad kind of gives Nebo crap, kind of like, get that guy away from me. He'll stay away from my daughter.
Stay away from my daughter. That was like the most stay away from my daughter vibes ever.
Yeah. And she's dancing around, and she's like, oh, why don't you come dance with me, Nebo? And he kind of gets pissed with her. He's like, I'm going to get caught, and your dad's going to be pissed at me. And she's like, oh, we'll go somewhere else. And he's like, He's like, just like we would have gone somewhere else if the Great One came in front of us and almost killed you. He's like, everything's a game to you, and not everything's a blessing. And he is not into this whole worship of the kaiju at all. He's
No.
like, it's clearly just an animal with primal instincts, killing its hunt and killing its prey, and just getting some food. He's like, none of this is a blessing. He's like, everybody's all crazy, and you gotta start to learn. And it kind of cuts to the leader of the tribe at the end, and he's like, "Oh, this is a blessed day. We're gonna go on a pilgrimage because the Great One has appeared. We're gonna go to where the Great One defeated the devil and prove that he was the Great One." Um, and then all of a sudden, they hear a roar. It's the Great Horn. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry. He's just showing his appreciation for us." And then he lets out another roar. And then you see, like, this leader. He's like, I don't know what he is, like a priest or a shaman or something of the tribe. He's even covering his ears and closing his eyes, like, because he's scared. And then he's like, on second thought, he's not grateful. We didn't do enough. We got to leave on a pilgrimage immediately tomorrow. And that's how it ends, with the big guy roaring. And it's been a while since I read this first issue, and so it was like all new to me again reading this.
Yeah.
What did you think of it? This was your first time reading it.
I really liked it, and it was definitely like a different series. It's got a lot of kind of like subtext to it. I felt like
Yes.
definitely like like the believer or the non-believer.
Yes.
People debating both sides of religion, and even just kind of cultism or tribalism to begin with. A lot of interesting stuff that's going on. I'm really interested to see what happens in issue 2, because I kind of want to see where they go with these themes. I want to see what that green goo is, and I want to see other kaiju. I want to see them fighting, and I want to see kind of what the lore of this world is. Like,
Yes.
is there other tribes that have their own god, and do they fight each other? And I have a feeling this could be where it's going, but I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, if you notice, like, on the back of the cover of each issue, there's a different symbol
Yes.
for each kaiju, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to spoil the second issue, but we do get to see other kaiju in the second issue.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, I have the second
And
issue.
then the third issue, from what
We have the second
Blake-
and third issues right here. I know there's
Yeah.
other kaiju coming,
yeah,
but I just
yeah.
don't know to what capacity.
The third issue was supposed to be kaiju packed, from what Blake was saying. So I haven't read it yet. It's been out for a while on digital. I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the. I was very stubborn with this. I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the physical, and I wanted you to read it. That way we could both talk about it. Yeah, I'm really into this series. I said, just the way it plays out.
It's very much a
It's-
pilot to a TV show.
Yes, I've said it over and over again. This would make an excellent TV show, or even maybe a mini series. But oh man, this absolutely excellent story, and like you said, I would love to see a TV series of this.
Yeah, I really would.
Gotta start pitching that out there, man.
I'm like super interested to see what's going on. It's like this. I feel like this was like a pilot. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. The issue definitely felt like a pilot.
And like I want to see like, okay, like where is this going? So issue 2, really looking forward to. That's gonna be
Yes.
probably like my next read.
Yeah.
It's
Same here. And yeah, like Neebo's poking and prodding will start to make Alkia question her faith and everything. And I think that's going to be a major theme of this series, is just questioning faith and what's right, what's wrong.
yeah, no, definitely. And that's kind of like where I'm really interested to see like where this goes, because it's interesting. It's an interesting take to go with for kaiju.
Yes. Like I said, I like the different time periods. Like, everyone's seen the modern day. We either want to go to the past, the future's cool. Pacific Rim was future-ish, but this is a different future. This is a future end of the world kind of, post-apocalyptic. Like, it's like a future, but in the past because everyone's reverted back to tribal times now.
Yeah.
There's
You
no
know.
technology or anything.
Yeah. It's very.
They're hunting with
It's
bows.
yeah. Hunting with bows is very basic, and I want to see just like are the kaiju at the forefront of this? Is it going to be like one of those series where it's like, yeah, there's kaiju there, but it's really more about the humans and their interactions and
I I think it's definitely a lot about the humans, but there'll definitely be some kaiju action in the third one and the second one.
yeah,
Not spoiling it though.
yeah, yeah. No, I really have to get on it. So next episode, which is probably going to be our 1 year episode, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, we're going to be covering that
possibly.
possibly, depending on the timeline, if we have time to film another one or
Yeah,
not.
schedule's a little tight next week, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's probably gonna be our 1 year anniversary show. Then we'll have to say.
yeah.